Welcome back. As you can see, welcome back to another episode of Long-Winded. As you can see, I'm out of town because it takes work, baby. This here is work, and I have to walk while I'm away on work. And I hope this battery lasts the whole time because it's giving 1 bar. It's not gonna. But I was desperate and I had to call the front desk. I needed a battery and couldn't make it over to the CVS myself. So we're just gonna hope for the best. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe this will bring some brightness to your day. Maybe it won't. I don't know if you're aware what happened on this day. It's haunted today. Today's your birthday. You're doomed. Something special happened today. Some kind of achievement or celebration. Well, sorry. Because you'll always have to think that I got my promotion. I got my promotion on 9/11. It must be a great sign, not. My future is up after my promotion. I don't think so. Oh, we fell in love. We fell in love and on September 11th, you may say. Well, your relationship is set to, for sure, implode. From the inside out, it will explode. It'll light on fire, light up in flames, just like the Twin Towers did from the inside out, because we know that there was a bomb planted and it didn't actually crash from a high-speed airplane crashing right into it. It didn't actually explode from a really fast miles an hour tearing right through. And if you're flying today, why did you do that to yourself? Why would you do that to yourself? Oh, you have to get back for work? Take a sick day. What are you thinking? You're going to get on a plane on 9/11? Well, if you don't care about yourself, then I can't either. Sure, I'm sure you're not nervous. I'm sure you don't have any anxiety. And it doesn't bring you back to the day in social studies class when you got the news that the Twin Towers were struck and you got to scurry out of that perverts class. It's always the social studies teacher or the history teacher. Those subjects, they breed perverts. There's something about colonialism that gets them very excited about the preteen. And honestly, it tracks. Honestly, it tracks because those 4 pervies on Mount Rushmore, they probably believed in child marriage. And these teachers are only carrying on their legacy. The teachers who would watch you bump and grind at your junior high dance and then pull you aside and ask you where you learned to dance like that. Well, it's none of your business, Humbert. 911. There's an emergency. And speaking of 911, back to 9/11. Like, that day was obviously doomed. Now that I think about it, is that why they picked that day? Because 911? That is beyond sick. You're on a flight because you have to go back to work. Well, a glass of wine isn't going to cut this one. You're going to need a Xanax. And now what are you supposed to do? You're going to go back to your said job all barred out? You're going to go back to pushing papers through a fog of benzodiazepines? You're going to sluggishly bump all those emails from Monday? because everyone took the last Tuesday, Wednesday off in fear of another 9/11 happening. But you're sitting at your office all sluggishly, all, I can't even say hopped up, hopped down on Xanax because you had to take your flight. Well, let me tell you something. Xanax is good for the nerves, but it's not good for bureaucracy. It's not good. It's not good for pushing those papers. You won't be able to see clearly, but you had to do it because duty calls. And wherever you are, whatever on this day today, wherever you are in the world, I don't care what kind of a flat earth you're at, maybe Biloxi, Mississippi, maybe a Richmond, Virginia, I would stay far away from the tallest building. I don't care if that building is the DoubleTree, stay away. You don't know what could happen today on account of aviation. We're not safe. You know the status of our air traffic control anyway these days. It's not looking good. For a technologically advanced country, we're pretty far behind, they say. They say our strips are still manually ran. Everybody else has their strips technology ran to avoid human error. But for some reason, our country keeps the dated air traffic control. Even on 9/12, 9/13, I wouldn't stand next to a tall building. But you are. Look around. Look up. You're near the skyscraper. In Poughkeepsie. Anything could happen. Sure, it's only 10 floors up. You're not safe. You're not safe there. Go inside and hide. This is today. This is what's going on today. So I hope you do have a good day though. I don't know if you can, given the date. And sometimes Robbie gets in a mood where she's like wanting to play the 9/11 voicemails for me. She wants to play these heart-wrenching, absolutely devastating voicemails from a loved one to me on the way to Lake Arrowhead. We're spending time, we're holding hands in the car, and she's like, I got something for you. It's a YouTube. It's tragic. Would you like to listen? She's a hopeless romantic. What can she say? But, we have those voicemails of everybody calling, telling their loved ones that they love them, that they're okay, stay strong. I'm sure you just get rushed with a flood of emotion or something that you really turn brave and you want your loved one not to worry as you kamikaze to your inevitable death. But we have all of these voicemails to remember because we had phones on the planes. I don't know how they had a landline literally so far away from land. They're the furthest away from land they could ever get there in the sky. But somehow they still are able to make phone calls. And these voicemails, Robbie, cherishes to this day. It gives us, gave us a lot of intel on how tragic it was. It actually was. And then what do? Take away the phones. They're like, oh yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We don't need any fail safes in case this happens again. No, we're not worried. We're just going to take away all the phones. So if there's ever an emergency, you won't be able to call home. And we know for a fact this was everyone's one, emotionally, didn't save their life, a saving grace to say goodbye to their family. And they're going to rip it from you. Oh, and then you're thinking, I know what you're thinking. What about the Wi-Fi? What about the Wi-Fi? You've been on a plane. There's no Wi-Fi really. They say there's Wi-Fi. DeltaWiFi.com. Connect here. It's not working. I didn't have my airplane mode turned on just in time, in the right time frame to go to my Wi-Fi settings and connect. I forgot to turn the mode on. Now I just have no bars and I'm not allowed to connect. You have to play exactly by their rules or the Wi-Fi is going to get ripped from you. And there's no bars in the sky. There's no G. There's no data that can get you to call home. To be your last, to save you emotionally. Like the water could save a body, but not yours. Because you know where you're going, straight to your death. So like, what are we supposed to do? There's no wireless Fi in these planes. I've been on planes recently that don't even have the capacity still. They've never even upgraded to the capacity. There's no frequencies. There's no vibes, period. There's nothing. And you think I can call home in case of an emergency? In this dreaded, doom-haunted plane, and you took away my one chance, which was the landline. So now what are we supposed to do? Now when the hijacker is on the way to do his duties, he somehow got through security with bad intentions. I guess they let you through TSA like that. He's on the way. He's taking over the intercom. He's like, this is what's going to happen. Oh, hijacker, can you make a couple loops around the Twin Towers? Can you loop some so we can pass that walkie back one by one to contact air traffic control? Give them our family's number so the air traffic control can contact our family so we can say goodbye. Can you just loop around these towers until we go back one by one? Is that what they want us to do in case there's another emergency? This is your big plan. This is your big fail-safe. Somehow, by the grace of God, we're still going. All right. Well, with that being said, I think you should go about your day as normal. We all do anyways. So, you know what? Sometimes it is what it is. But on to something a little lighter, Trump's cankles, which are at this point, I think, a representation of the state of our country by way of his ankles, or lack thereof, or missing ones. It's always, where's your waist? Never, where's your ankles? We can all see his waist, but we cannot see his ankles. And just like his heart, democracy is failing. Any healthcare professional, anybody who's worked in a hospital can tell that he needs 40 mgs of Lasix stat, capital STAT, IV push. And you have to give him the urinal because his old ass isn't getting up frequently to pee. He needs treatment. Maybe I don't know. By the looks of him, it depends. I'd have to listen to his lungs if there's fluid in there. I don't know. He could, depending on his blood pressure, maybe he'll need dialysis. That's a lot of fluid around there. That's a lot of fluid. That's a lot of blood pooling because his heart isn't strong enough to beat. And then he has the peripheral vascular disease. So it's just like it's all weak down there. And then he can't pull the blood back up to his brain to help him make good decisions because all of the oxygenated blood is sitting around his ankles. That's where all the decision making is in regards to our country. Maybe if he got some of that blood back to his brain, we could figure out some things. Like, I don't know, free or affordable health care. Or, I don't know, a longer maternity leave. If this was a man and he tore from his saggy scrotum to his asshole while giving birth, while giving the miracle of life, I guarantee you we would have a longer maternity leave. Oh, you hurt yourself? You hurt yourself pushing too hard because you're not drinking enough water or consuming enough fiber because protein is taking all over your diet? And the byproduct of protein breaking down is turning into a gas that could take over Hiroshima and Nagasaki? You're complaining about your hernia? What about a 10-pound hernia coming out of your pussy? Then, could we get some maternity leave? I don't know, maybe we could, if some of the blood from his ankles got to his head, maybe we could talk about gun bans. We could really tighten up on gun laws. Ban them, I think. Obviously, I'm no believer in the Second Amendment. When did 1776? That's the last time we needed guns. And I'm not just talking about trans people. Has the weirdest kind of transphobia, homophobia I've ever seen exercised, really. But back to our president, I mean, as a public figure, as the leader of our country, we're allowed to speculate on his health. And as you know, I was a healthcare professional, and I was a healthcare professional and professioner. So I'm allowed to speculate, not even because of my expertise, but because I'm a podcaster, which is the single most powerful source of media these days. So take everything I say with a grain of a grapefruit. So this is not a partisan issue. It is very bipartisan. I was open and concerned about Biden sundowners. Poor Jill. Hopefully she has Haldol on hand. After 5 p.m. when the sun sets, it cannot be good around there. But Trump's heart failure seems to be exacerbated. It's not under control by the looks or absence of his ankle bone. I mean, I can barely manage my antidepressants. I have to take them twice a day, once in the morning, once in the evening, because I do better that way, okay? It makes me too sleepy if I take them all at once, just whatever. And so can you imagine, this is why it's like, oh my God, it's incredibly hard to run a country with heart failure. You have to take all your heart failure medications. I'm talking a lot. You have to watch what Mrs. Dash knows. You can't have a lot of sodium. Trump loves a pizza. He loves a pizza. He thinks it's fine. You have to sleep sitting up. You're sleeping upright. Because the heart cannot pump out all of the fluid in the lungs, or in the heart, so it pulls around your lungs and you can't breathe. So that cannot lead to good sleep. Sleep enough REM to make these good decisions. You know your grandpa who sleeps in the recliner in the living room every night? He has heart failure. And this is the president of our country. It's like it takes a lot of time and effort to care for your health. So how he's overstressed. He's taking all these flights everywhere. He's here, he's there, he's everywhere. The plain food can't be good for you. Altitude is not good for circulation. This is why we're worried, because it's really hard to manage both. I mean, you can't be in the right mind, really, if you're in this poor of health. Oh, we're still going. I mean, and I know people are talking about his bruised hands, but those don't bother me as much as his barking dogs. You know what I mean? Because he's definitely on a blood thinner, obviously. He's like almost 80 years old. They all are. And sure, you get bruises around the hands. I think that's normal. He's got to be on a blood thinner to reduce his risk of stroke, because it has to, being a pedophile has to increase your risk of stroke. Those disgusting, depraved, banal, I think is the right word, thoughts must build plaque in your veins, and then there's a risk of it breaking off and going to your head. His face is drooping. There's facial asymmetry. And now he's starting to slur his words, and his MAGA hat is tilting to the side. Quick. It's happening. This is a part of the pedophilic plaque has broken off, and it's gone straight to his MAGA hat, and now it's on. Now it's drooping. It's slurring. These are all signs. This is the FAST acronym for the stroke. Because also another concern that I have is the buildup of yeast under his MAGA hat. This is something really to be concerned about. I mean, it has to be getting pretty yeasty. It's suffocating. His head is suffocating. He never takes off the MAGA hat. I've never seen him in one picture, anything without the MAGA hat. We didn't hear about him, where he was. We had no idea for 3 days. I mean, obviously, the main press isn't going to cover that. Fork not found in the kitchen. Fork missing from the dishwasher. Obviously, it's in the utensil drawer. It's like not that surprising. We know where it's going. He's probably had the White House doctor, who is a DO. Sorry, he could be a chiropractor, practicing as the White House physician, giving him those blood thinners to combat his disgusting mind, to help reduce the risk of stroke. And he needed to lie flat, put his legs up to help the edema, to get all that blood back to his brain and his heart, to make more terrible decisions on our behalf. He probably had to lay like that for 2 days, doctor's orders, so we didn't see him. But the one thing the doctor said was, you can keep your MAGA hat on if you put this cream on your head, because it's starting to look funky. It's starting to look like a fungal funky. And this cream is called Monistat. You and I use it for our pussy. He uses it for his flaky scalp. Because the moisture is sitting there. It's not getting any oxygen to air it out, because he has not taken off his MAGA hat since, I don't know, has it been since 26, almost 10 years. He's had the MAGA hat on for 10 years straight. The yeast has evolved into sourdough. Him and Taylor Swift, both by different mediums, different means, love to bake bread. And the MAGA hat is just so camp. It's so camp. He's so campy. He is a queen. He's a drag queen. He is really the president of camp. He's no, I can't say he's fabulous. He wants to be. He would get the pork chop. He'd be out first. He probably wouldn't even be casted, because he wouldn't pass his health exam. Literally. So this is who's leading our country, if you can believe. Okay, now we can talk about the VMAs, I guess. As you guys may or may not have seen, I hosted the red carpet for the VMAs for MTV. Yeah, you heard me. Yeah, you got that right. It was fine. I don't want to, which it was a great opportunity. I'm honored. I don't want to have to fangirl. I want my fangirling to be really natural. But as it was occurring, I found it to be a little forced, which is a characteristic of a great journalist, to be a natural fangirl, to really be in pop culture, to really be in the know. I like to pick and choose. I like to be exclusive. And the whole time I was terrified that Taylor Swift was going to show up, and then she saw my clip about what I thought about her album cover and it being a little disjointed and being concerned for her work ethic. I didn't know if she was going to hold that against me in the interview, but I will say in that vein, I do think we should bring back public beefs. Why am I walking on eggshells? I do have some shit to say. I'm terrified. So I don't want to be banned and I don't want to be canceled. So I, just like everyone else, kind of walk on eggshells, but it was less nerve-wracking than I thought. I will say that. I want to be the one being interviewed, because it's all about them. You're asking them questions. Who's going to ask me a question? I have some shit to say. I have a bit. You want to see my G-string? I'll show you. I have a couple things that can create maybe a viral moment. And I would like the chance to do that, but instead, and I was doing that, on the behalf of other people. But with that being said, obviously it was good. I don't need to do it again. I won't say I need to do it again. I think, and let me be clear, the MTV team was incredible. Big shout out to everybody. They were so fun to work with. Cheryl, my producer, is also from Colorado Springs. We had some really crazy references to talk about, like the corner in Manitou that had a cult-ran coffee shop that we both frequented. So that was pretty good. And I will say, I think one of my favorite parts of the VMA was getting ready, was the look. Big shout out to my team. Ellie, my stylist, Frankie, hair, Danny, makeup, Kayla took the pictures. I like to get ready with them. And it was fun, and I felt like me, and I think it was received well. There were some comment Karens that were calling me a slut and cheap, which is great news. They don't like to hear that, but for me, it's actually quite positive, and it's music to my ears. I did not stay for the show. I'm sorry. I didn't. The VMAs are different than they were in past years, and I was exhausted. I started getting ready at 11. We had to travel to Long Island, and then I had to interview people for like 3 hours. So I was pooped, so I didn't stay. I didn't. It's not the Britney VMAs anymore. Britney, we miss you. We miss you every day, but it is kind of sad because she's always acknowledged for having some of the top VMA, whatever moments. But I listened to her book and she was in the conservatorship. Like, she was terrified of that snake, but she had to do it, and she did it like a professional. But can you imagine how dissociated you have to be? With that being said, what the fuck? It's so iconic what she was wearing. Nobody can do it like her. We're all trying to do it like her, but she had such a presence. Like, this was the year of pop. And then after further review, watching that clip back, there was a full-blown living, breathing, we're lucky he wasn't growling tiger in the cage that she got out of. Who signed this off? Her dad? He's disgusting. We're lucky she's alive. We've all seen Tiger King. We know how that goes. We know how are you keeping that thing under control, and why would you put her in the cage with it? I would not be able to. You would fear your life the whole time. Then she had to come out with that little shuffle chug. I'm a slave, chug, chug. Get the boa constrictor. I've now put my life at risk thrice in 30 seconds. And I feel like the big takeaway is that they cannot stop working. These people cannot stop. You can't stop. You have to, because these shows are like work, you're showing up, You got to get ready. You have to be on. You're doing interviews. You have to be seen. So you're going to the show to do all this, to work, to make yourself known, to make yourself relevant. It felt like a job. I mean, I think the Grammys is different. I think that's maybe a little more exciting. I hate to say these days, but there was really a day for the VMAs. But it was like Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga was there. She was dressed in full drag. She went on stage, gave a speech, had to shed one tear. Exactly. That's what she always does. And then she had to go to a full concert in Madison Square Garden. She had to go on stage on Long Island, already dressed up. You can imagine how draining that is. She's on stage. She has to prepare a speech. She's doing this. She's doing that. She's squeezing that tear out. She's kikiing with Ariana Grande. This is a full day's work already. Then she has to get in a car, maybe a helicopter, but hopefully not for her sake, Kobe Bryant. I don't know if she's going to be thinking about the whole time. She's got to get in a car to get transpo to Madison Square Garden to perform in front of thousands of people, packed with costume changes and choreography. What? Huh? You can't stop. You just cannot stop. I mean, and it's like, I guess they were like, oh, are you available? Like, not that many people are available this year. Can you go and do this? And she's like, yeah, I guess I can just do that before I have a full concert. But she has a new album. She needs to be seen. Like, this is the life that you're tethered to for the rest of your life. I'm exhausted, and just know if you see me somewhere, it's work. But I'm there too. I'm doing it too. But I feel like at her level of success, she could be like, no, I'm just going to go to my concert. I just had 2 million people in Brazil. I think I'm okay. But they can't stop. It's insatiable. It's a hit of a drug. Fame. It really gets you. I mean, Ariana was there, which I feel like, yes, she's out for Wicked. I don't know if we'd really seen her in a while. I did get really excited. She was walking up when I was walking down, and everyone was freaking out. I was like, oh my God, she seems like the most gracious person ever. She was like singing, like kind of like she was at church to, I forget whose song, probably no one we've ever heard of, that Conan West or something, Conan Gray, but they wouldn't invite Addison Rae. But she was really giving her, and her brother was in tow. But yeah, I don't know. You guys know me. Like, I'm just a little jaded. I want the room to be jaded. I don't want to have to talk to each other. Like Mariah Carey had to be so nice to Ariana Grande, which I do think Ariana Grande is just such a nice person, and she, but Mariah Carey is a diva. It's not personal. She was like, who's Ariana? And then she was like, oh, I think it's so good to see how far you've come. You deserve everything. It's like, oh, come on, Mariah. Let's just see a little drama. Like when Courtney Love tweeted that Taylor Swift wasn't a real artist, which obviously I beg to differ. I think she's a poet and a great songwriter, but obviously she's not an artist in Courtney Love's eyes. Courtney Love is punk rock. This is different for her. She's not going to think someone like Taylor Swift is an artist. Oh my God, the battery's still on. And that's okay, but she can say those things because she's not scared of being banned from the VMAs. She's just doing her thing. It's like, you'll notice that I haven't said much on the floor covering or front, if you know what I mean, carpet, or somebody, I don't even know, carpenter, You guys know who I mean. I'm not saying much, I'm trying to really reel it back, but I will say some people just pull out all the stops, and some people, it seems, just use others as drag queens. I mean, use drag queens as props. And it's pretty obvious because we know that's what it takes to make a real pop star. We know you have to have the gays and the girls on your side. So then all of a sudden you're seen with drag queens everywhere. I'm just saying, this is just an observation. I would like to be used as a prop as a lesbian. How come nobody likes to surround themselves with lesbians for fun and for success and to catapult their mainstream music career? I would like to be used as such, but no one seems interested. Diversity, hello. Equal opportunity, hello. One person, I thought Audrey Hobart maybe was going to be there. I think it would have been great to have her there. She is having her moment. Her album is really, it's just so good. I am responsible for thousands of her streams. Like, I forget. I mean, and it's a short album. It's like 30 minutes, but we'll be getting ready and glamming. It's played. Robbie's like, I've heard this song a million times. Just play it, but it's so easy to listen to. I think she would have been great to have at the VMAs and like a real, genuine, fresh talent. And I think Addison Rae, it would have been fun to see her. She had such a fashion moment last year. I think it would have been great. Who else? Youngblood. I had no idea who he was until the night before when I was doing research, so I had to TikTok him. I think some of the girls go crazy over him. But yeah, he's kind of bringing the rock star back. He had smudged eyeliner. It took everything in me not to be like, oh, we have the same kohl pencil on. We have the same technique. Armoire must be doing something similar to each other, and he was talking really close to my face. I don't know if it's a rock star thing, but he got really in there. The point I was having to like lean back, like the insides of my organs were touching the spine. They were all the way in the back, but I didn't want to move completely because I have to stay in the 9:16 frame because this is about me. Because I would like to be featured in some of these interviews. Thank you very much. So I stood my ground. But yeah, he was like funny and warm and like really into the rock off thing. He was like talking like this, man, and like saying a bunch of this. And yeah, we're gonna like kick ass and let's fucking go. We're gonna rock out. Like, this is what I came here to do. Yeah, Ozzy Osbourne. He like studied under Ozzy Osbourne, and I mean, I think it's great. We haven't really seen a rock star in a while, I'll say. And like, maybe he'll influence men's fashion. Who's influencing men's fashion these days besides like Target Chic and those white sneakers and like maybe the bisexuals in Brooklyn, which are all equally as bad. Maybe we can bring some of like the rocker. I think it would be good to have like, I think it does feel like exciting and masculine and give like dudes something to be excited about besides hating women. Kurt Cobain was a feminist and a rock star and an icon, and everybody wanted to dress like him. So Youngblood, if you're listening, you could do that for us. But yeah, he did that Ozzy Osbourne tribute, and he has real ties to him and rock. And then I was looking at some of his other videos. He's giving more emo to me, if I'm being honest. I don't know where you draw the line. I guess his connection to Ozzy Osbourne makes him rock and roll, but some of his songs feel very emo, and he just like looks and feels emo. Which isn't a bad thing. And I watched him on Chicken Shop, and he was like actually quite cool and endearing. He had pink hair. He was a little freakier then. Now he's like leaning into the rock. But I thought the Ozzy Osbourne tribute was really good. I thought he did really good. I feel like he had good vocals, and Steven Tyler was really the impressive part. I mean, he's 77, and the mic was hot. The mic was hot. Hot, 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 hot. He was like belting. It was really crazy to see. Trump is 70. Look at the difference between Steven Tyler and Trump. Steven Tyler, you can find both his ankles, and he can perform on stage in front of thousands and do amazing and really open his mouth like that to get the chords out. And then our president is a bumbling idiot, and his MAGA hat is velcroed to his head. We can't get him out. We can't get his head out. But overall, I think Youngblood was good, and his manager will be happy because he's gonna oink 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 keep making him money. That's what they want. That's what they all care about. You do your thing. You do your thing, Youngblood. You go from stage right to stage left to stage right, and up and back, and take off your jacket and put it on and stomp around and do this. The fact that he wasn't nervous or didn't feel out of place with all these OGs and their electrical guitars on stage is truly impressive. And I think it'll get him a lot of opportunity. There was Doja Cat, a joy, honestly, what am I supposed to say? She did do the eating her lipstick bit. Which I'm down. We're here to create viral moments. In my contract, I have to collab with at least 2 posts on social media. This one is doing well for both of us. Okay, collab. I picked the right one. That one in Cat's Eye. Okay, not so bad. Could be worse. With her lipstick. I saw her. And she was holding her lipstick off camera, and I was like, oh, do you need to reapply your lips? And I don't know if she took a second. She took a second, so I don't know if she was ready totally to commit to the bit, and then she took a chomp. She nodded right off. I was because I thought it was going to be real lipstick. I mean, I'm down for a bit. It did what it was going to do. She had a lot of that lipstick on the red carpet. I wanted to ask if it upset her stomach, if she's, digesting it okay. It was nowhere to be found in her mouth. I'm like, whoa, what is this? It's not even on your teeth. But she was great. She was really nice. Oh, what else? Tate McRae's contemporary dance break, I thought was obviously phenomenal. She is so flexible, and I'm happy for her because she deserves a big moment in the mainstream. As I was getting the next day, going back to what I was thinking and what I was doing, I was really telling everybody they could do the splits, but it's I don't think I'm sexualizing anybody. I'm just fascinated with people who could do the splits. It is like if I could still do the splits, I would do it all the time. It would be a party trick. I started stretching because these photo shoots, I want to be able, but then I only did it once, and then I gave it up. So everybody who I knew could do the splits, and they came up to get an interview, I was like, oh yeah, and you could do the splits, right? And I'm like, I have got to stop that. They might not want to be deduced to just their splits. So that was a ruminating thought. And then Cat's Eye, they were so cute. I thought they were great. I mean, they're just young. They all had a light in their eyes. They did. They had gorgeous, earnest, young eyes. They were so sweet and sweet smiles. And they all looked really excited. I just can't watch the doc because I can't see them hurt. I'm not an icon totally. I mean, I am personally, but I can't watch the docu because I cannot see them at such a young age go through this grueling profession. I can't. I want to protect them. I thought they looked great. I don't know. They were getting criticism, I guess. What's a VMA look, this and that. I don't know. They were all dressed by Dolce, so it's probably in their contract, and there's 6 of them or 5 of them. So it's hard to find 5 outfits. So I think they did the best with what they could, and they're all gorgeous. What do you mean they look bad? They're all drop dead. They're the most beautiful, most talented people, literally by competition, proven. I don't know if this competition was worldwide or what, but maybe in the world. So I just don't think they could really look bad. No matter what they wear. Okay, let's see what else. Ashley Simpson came over. She was so warm and welcoming. She gave me a hug. I'm like, oh my God, you're perfect. An example of she hadn't been to the VMAs in like 17 years or something. Yes, she's ready to come back. She's taken a good break. We're excited to see her. We're ready to see her. She has her residency in Vegas. I hear it's amazing. I wanted to sing Pieces of Me to her. And she was like, go ahead, do it. She said she slept with her hair in 4 braids. I was like, please don't gaslight. She's like, I'm being serious. I'm like, oh my God, it looks so good. I really liked her and she really embraced me. Like she knew me. She was so warm. Brittany Snow was so warm, like the best from Hunting Wives. I was like, I don't know if you guys know what you're doing for the lesbian community. I mean, talk about gay panic. She was really inducing. Sierra came over. You know what? I could have been anybody, which is totally fine. She's got to get her spiel out. She talked at me, which I get. It's like she needs to get it out. She has some shit to say. It's been a while since 1-2 Step. She has a new album. She needs to take every chance she gets. I don't know what's going on, how much she has left. Her husband cannot stay signed to a football team. So it's like you got to let her spiel. So I understood that. I'm just talking about everyone. FKA Twigs. She had this really sweet angel voice that I could not hear. So when I asked her like who designed her outfit and she said fecal matter, when she said fecal matter, I asked her to repeat it. It's like, oh, I'm sorry. Cause she kind of whispers in a soft angelic voice. And I was like, oh, one more time. And she was like fecal matter. I was like, okay, yes, absolutely. And I think that's all the time that we have today, but thank you. And I didn't catch on to her hair that was like styled into headphones, but I thought it was, looking back, I actually thought that was so sick for the VMAs. Like she does have like a cool, interesting look. I just didn't know that fecal matter would make her, I don't know anybody who goes by that for a design. It's like I get the wow factor. But I thought the headphones were pretty genius, but overall, you know what? It was a good time and I got to show my ass. I got to show off that G-string, which is why we leave the house these days. It's not often. I have lived and rotted in this room since the second I got here. I might smoke a cig out this window. The Bowery, if you're watching, I would never. I'm kidding. But I think that's all for now. So, as always, thank you for coming back time and time again on another episode of Long Winded.